In a landmark decision, the U.S. Supreme Court has struck down the sweeping tariffs imposed by former President Trump, fundamentally redefining presidential power over trade and commerce. The ruling ends the era of unilateral tariffs justified by national emergency, forcing a dramatic shift in America's economic relationships and trade dynamics. This decision is more than legal precedent. It will impact businesses, consumers, and the global economy. The court's verdict reasserts Congress's authority over trade, challenging the executive branch's flexibility in foreign affairs and negotiations. As the dust settles, the White House and American industry must adapt to a new era in trade policy. Trump's tariff policy rested on two pillars: reciprocal tariffs and trafficking tariffs. These two approaches form the backbone of his administration's aggressive stance on international trade, aiming to reshape America's economic relationships with the world. Reciprocal tariffs were sweeping in scope, affecting goods from over 70 nations. Some rates soared as high as 50%, a dramatic escalation designed to pressure trading partners into what the administration called fair and balanced trade. The idea was simple. If another country imposed high tariffs on American goods, the U.S. would match or exceed those rates in return. This approach was intended to level the playing field, but it also risked sparking trade wars and retaliation from allies and rivals alike. Trafficking tariffs, on the other hand, were more targeted. They focused specifically on Canada, China, and Mexico, and were justified by the administration as a response to a declared emergency over fentanyl trafficking. By linking tariffs to the fight against illegal drugs, the policy blurred the lines between economic measures and national security concerns. This blending of trade, foreign policy, and law enforcement was unprecedented. It created confusion among trading partners and raised questions about the true motivations behind the tariffs. Diplomats and business leaders alike struggled to adapt to the shifting landscape. Both sets of tariffs marked a sharp break from decades of U.S. free trade policy. They disrupted global supply chains, raised costs for American businesses, and led to delays and shortages in key industries. For many companies, the uncertainty made long-term planning nearly impossible. Critics argued these measures risked damaging diplomatic ties and undermining economic stability. They warned that the tariffs could isolate the U.S. from its allies and provoke retaliation. Supporters, however, saw them as powerful leverage to negotiate better deals and protect American jobs. For North American businesses, the tariffs brought a new era of uncertainty and higher costs in an already integrated market. Many companies faced tough choices, whether to absorb the extra expenses, pass them on to consumers, or relocate operations. Now, with the Supreme Court ordering this tariff wall dismantled, the U.S. signals a return to more traditional trade norms. The decision marks a pivotal moment as the country reconsiders its approach to global commerce and the balance between protectionism and open markets. The legal foundation for Trump's tariffs was the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEEPA, a law that has rarely been at the center of such a high-stakes political and legal battle. This statute, while not widely known to the public, would become the focal point of a national debate about the limits of presidential authority. Passed in 1977, IEEPA was designed to give the president the power to regulate commerce during times of national emergency, especially when foreign threats were involved. Lawmakers at the time wanted to ensure the executive branch could act quickly if the nation's security or economy was at risk, but they also debated how much unchecked power should be placed in the hands of one person. Decades later, President Trump invoked IEEPA to declare emergencies over what he called unfair trade practices by foreign countries and the opioid crisis fueled by fentanyl imports. He argued that these emergencies justified sweeping new tariffs, and that IEEPA gave him the authority to act decisively, even if Congress hadn't specifically approved such measures. The Trump administration insisted that Congress had intentionally given the executive branch broad flexibility to respond to crises, including the power to tax imports or restrict trade when national interests were at stake. They claimed that in a fast-moving world, the president needed the ability to act without waiting for lengthy legislative debates. But critics, including lawmakers from both parties and legal scholars, pushed back hard. They argued that IEEPA was never intended to let the president unilaterally rewrite the nation's trade policy or bypass Congress on issues with massive economic impact. They warned that such a precedent could open the door to future abuses of power. Opponents pointed to the major questions doctrine, a legal principle stating that only Congress can authorize actions of vast economic or political significance. They said that allowing the president to act alone on such matters would upset the careful balance of power set by the Constitution. Lower courts repeatedly struck down the tariffs, finding that the president had overstepped the authority granted by IEPA. Judges ruled that while the law gave the executive branch some flexibility, it did not allow for a complete overhaul of trade policy without congressional approval. The Federal Circuit's decisive ruling against the administration set the stage for a dramatic showdown at the Supreme Court, where the stakes were nothing less than the future of presidential power. At the heart of the case was a fundamental question: can a president use emergency powers to reshape the nation's trade policy on their own? Or must Congress always have the final say on such sweeping economic decisions? The Supreme Court's answer would not only decide the fate of Trump's tariffs, but also set a precedent with lasting consequences for the balance of power between the branches of government and for the very nature of American democracy. The tariff debate split the nation. Supporters argued tariffs protected American jobs, revived manufacturing, and gave the U.S. leverage in global negotiations. They saw tariffs as tough but necessary medicine for a weakened economy. Opponents, businesses, states, and industry groups called the tariffs illegal and economically damaging, arguing they raised costs for American consumers and businesses. They pointed out that tariffs functioned as a regressive tax, fueling inflation and threatening small businesses. States like Oregon joined the lawsuit, citing increased costs for public projects and taxpayers. For critics, the tariffs were a blunt instrument that hurt more than helped. The real impact of tariffs was felt by small businesses and communities. Learning Resources and Hand2Mind, makers of educational toys, faced a $100 million cost increase in 2025 alone, threatening their survival and forcing price hikes for schools and parents. Terry Cycling, a women's cycling gear company, projected $1.2 million in new import taxes, an existential threat for a small business. State governments, led by Oregon, saw public budgets strained as tariffs drove up costs for essential equipment and infrastructure. These stories reveal how Washington's decisions ripple out, creating hardship for entrepreneurs, workers, and taxpayers. For many, the legal challenge was about survival, not politics. Their experiences became central to the Supreme Court case. In a historic and closely watched decision, the Supreme Court sided with businesses and states, ruling that former President Trump had exceeded his authority under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEPA. This case drew national attention, as it questioned the limits of presidential power in economic matters. The court determined that imposing sweeping, indefinite tariffs on foreign goods is not something the executive branch can do alone. Instead, such significant actions require explicit approval from Congress, ensuring that no single branch can unilaterally reshape the nation's trade policy. Central to the court's reasoning was the major questions doctrine, which holds that only Congress has the authority to approve actions with vast economic and political consequences. The justices emphasized that the Constitution gives Congress, not the president, the power to regulate commerce and set tariffs. As a result, the ruling invalidates the tariffs imposed under the emergency order and reaffirms Congress's constitutional role in shaping and overseeing U.S. trade policy, restoring a crucial balance of power. The court clarified that while the president does retain certain emergency powers, those powers are not unlimited. They cannot be used to create a long-term tariff regime or bypass the legislative process that is fundamental to American democracy. This landmark decision significantly curtails unilateral executive action, reinforcing the system of checks and balances that is at the heart of the U.S. government. It sends a clear message that major economic decisions must be made collaboratively. Going forward, future presidents will be required to work closely with Congress to enact any major changes to trade policy, ensuring greater transparency and accountability in government. Ultimately, the Supreme Court's verdict rebalances power between the branches of government and ensures that far-reaching economic decisions reflect not just executive will, but the voice and interests of the American people. The Supreme Court's decision marks a turning point for American trade and global commerce. Consumers may soon see lower prices as tariffs disappear, easing inflation and boosting purchasing power. For businesses, especially small ones, the ruling brings relief and stability, encouraging investment and growth. Internationally, the end of the tariff regime opens the door to repairing strained alliances and restoring trust in U.S. trade policy. The decision signals a return to collaborative, rules-based trade and strengthens the role of Congress. America's economic identity and global role are being reshaped, with major trade decisions now requiring legislative debate. This landmark moment promises greater stability and predictability for the U.S. and the world.